Good evening, world. Uh, I've been sitting here all day by myself, thinking, And let me tell you about something happened. I started thinking about all these blessings and stuff that I'm supposed to be getting and all this, and it kind of made me mad because they weren't coming, and what did come was stolen by a certain coven of individuals. So anyhow, because I'm in my own house by myself, so I could yell and go crazy. I was actually on the I guess YouTube with my soul family, I guess you might call them. And I started getting real mad about things, and so I thought, well, I'm gonna scream at the universe about it. Now I don't know what I did wrong or what I did right, but someone up there heard me. Let that be a lesson to those who don't believe there's a God, because he heard me. And while I went to sleep, when I woke up, God had been very busy in that bunch of people and was getting them to see the light. Uh, and I'm sure just by me saying this, I'll catch all kinds of hell from them, wherever. But I really don't care about that. Uh, the only people that's done anything against them is themselves. Uh, so anyhow, but we find ourselves kind of at a moment in time when I heard someone say this. They said, well, we could, I don't know what that was. Anyway, uh, where we find ourselves is that we can either go on and be a better humanity, or we can destroy humanity. We have all the tools we got need to do either. Me, I simplify it. Do the best you can to treat people the way you want to be treated. Uh, then do your best to try to learn about God and see who God is. Because uh, the way I understand some people to say it is that God isn't a man, but I tend to say that's not true. I say God did embody himself as a man when Jesus came to be on this earth. But prior to that, we had we had a consciousness in the universe, uh, and generally in the Bible it talks about God came to see like Abraham or different subjects that were in Genesis. There was the angel of the Lord, so that was what that's what represented God. But it says the angel of the Lord. So, like I said, there's a consciousness in this universe who is the ultimate God, and Jesus embodies that. You know. Now, I believe. Now this is just my belief, and you can take it wrong if you want to. I don't care. We all have in us what God. I mean, we were patterned after God. You know, it says we were made in God's image, and that image is We have our minds, we have our bodies, and we have our souls. That soul is our spiritual body. Okay, and so many of us have damaged ones. Throughout our lives, maybe some things have happened that we don't know how to deal with or whatever, and they hurt. You know, because when you get hurt, a lot of times, well, any kind of pain can hurt your soul, and your soul remembers that. They said that's where alcoholic and addictions come from. I believe that. That's just a symptom of the problem. Uh, I'm just talking randomly here. You know, I myself have had those problems, those issues, and struggle with them every day. You know, uh, I figure I'm lucky. That's all I've got to worry about. You know, because I see a lot of people, and down here on the lower levels of life, you know, uh, there's a lot of bad, messed up people out there. They don't mean to be. You know, they ain't not trying to hurt anybody or anything, but generally they've got issues. And then you've got the psychiatry and psychological community who would make a buck off that. But I say half the stuff they do for them doesn't work. But while we're at it, let me say to those people that called me crazy and whatnot, I'm not. Oh, I tell you, whenever I got mad the other night and I was yelling and I was pissed because it just seemed like to me that we have a time here and I have a lot to do. You know, big calling, a lot of responsibilities that I need to get done before I pass. Uh, but I intend to get it done, and the resources to do that were not coming. And I had to always be mindful of these people who are basically just thieves uh, and would like to draw anybody in who will play on their level. I don't play on that level. You know, I don't compete with anyone. I compete with myself to be a better human being than I was yesterday. That's basically the deal. And I think about it in the morning, and what could I do to be better than I was yesterday? Well, I try not to get mad, and I didn't get mad today. But those are sometimes getting mad is a necessity, and sometimes it comes out to do something good. You know, I mean, it's kind of like war. Sometimes we go to war, and hopefully, like as in World War II, where tyranny was obstructed, and a lot of good came from that. But there were a lot of deaths, a lot of bad that came from it too. But in the end, it shaped the world into something where it would be a lot harder for tyranny to reign. I believe right now a lot of our problem here on earth is the corruption of don't really care about humanity. And hopefully that'll get ironed out pretty quick. Uh, Hopefully that we can learn to care about our fellow man and stop wars, things like that from happening. uh, we're supposed to rely on our leaders to take care of that stuff. But, in our government, it seems like the government that's in power right now seems to. I don't think that Americans have ever been more divided. And it's like this side of Mr. Trump. This side opposes Mr. Trump. Uh, yeah, it's just kind of a real problem with our government because nothing really gets done that's right. And the things that we need to be doing in this society are not getting done. Uh, so, in the end, I do believe that we can. Listen, I chose the spiritual community to help carry this message with me because I know, and I watch them every day, that they work and they speak with God every day, whether they realize it or not, you know, and, some of them are seers, some are just, they call card pullers, whatever they are, but they're speaking to spirit, that consciousness that's all around us in the universe, that is the ultimate God. And according to what God says or does, those things are going to occur. I mean, I've watched it, I've talked to God. I've actually seen God. The God who presented himself to me. And when he says something's going to happen, I have no doubt about it. It's going to happen. But God's not a rock that never moves. He's more like, he's got those emotions just like we do, and he can get angry or he can be happy. He can say, "Boy, I love that boy," or that boy done pissed me off. You know what I mean? And I know that, you know. But he sees us, you know. There's no doubt that he sees us. That proved that the other night, or was it last night before last? That proved it to me that when I yell and I say, "God," whatever I said, I got a little rough, you know. I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. If that's what it takes to get heaven to hear me, then I'll yell again. I don't care what it takes to get them to hear me and help me to make a change in this earth. See, I don't think about what I could have as long as I've got enough to make it. I'm eating and whatever. I'm good. This is why I came here. This is my purpose, to get mankind to get to the next level, to wake you up, so that we rise, we don't fall. And we will rise. And we don't have any intention of falling. But we're going to have to use every resource that we've got. One of those resources is God and the knowledge that He puts inside of us with the Holy Spirit. It tells us we're on the right course. And I believe that He's telling us we're on the right course. Right now we could be doing Revelations the way it was. But I do believe that God has rewritten that thing. I don't know that it won't happen. Because we're kind of at a crossroads here. And the thing that we have that can change every bit of this, it's all inside of us. He gave us three things. He gave us hope, faith, and love, right? So if we treat people with those things, and we look upon the future with those things, that is changing the mindset and the intention of mankind. And the more that do that, then the bigger it comes to be, you know. And if it just comes through in just a little bit, it's kind of like, you know, the butterfly effect. Flaps its wings over there in West Africa, and well, you know, you've got a hurricane barreling towards the United States just from that flap of that butterfly's wings. And that's I mean, it's actually very real. It really happens. I mean, something somewhat like that, you know, that those little things that happen, nothing big, it's nothing big. It's just something real small that it really seems insignificant, but it's not so insignificant because as it goes and swirls, you know, over that Atlantic Ocean, it draws water up, and next thing you know, you've got a big old hurricane. That's how it works, and it's the same thing with our consciousness and doing the right thing in the world, you know. You know, caring about other people, treating the people that we know right, and treating them kind, and being kind to strangers, you know what I mean? Showing goodwill towards people. Very important stuff. And with those little things, those little acts, ripples are created throughout the timeline. And things start slowly changing. That's reality. That's a real thing. So I ask anybody who's of that mind, of that spirit, let your good deeds towards people be seen. Let the world see how good you are, especially you light workers. Because that's why we're here. We're here to assist 144,000 of it. You know, sparsely put out through the world. When you talk about how many people there are in the world, that's a very small number. But you were born for this. You know, you were born for it. You know, we've all got our different gifts, our mindsets, and the way our minds work. God placed it in us. But whatever He wanted to see us accomplish in the world, well, He put that in us to do so. Use that, and if you get kind of a thought in your head as you go through life, and you hear like, man needs your help, just give him a hand, and just do it. And you'll be surprised because a lot of those things come through our consciousness that is attached to God. And a lot of times I get those, and I'll stop and I'll help. And you may have saved someone's life. You know, a lot of things happen like that. You never know. You know, so be prepared to help other people whenever you can. Doesn't have to be giving them money, or it just might be, hey, maybe someone needs a jump, get them back to get them to work. You know, whatever. Little things. Those little things amount. They amount. Well, anyhow, I'm gonna say good evening now, and say God bless you, anyone who sees this. God bless you all. God bless the world. Uh, to those people that I spoke of, listen, I'm not holding any ill will towards you all. So you can quit thinking I'm sending evil eye or bad vibes your way. I'm not. Uh, Carol, to you, you're gonna be all right. All right, and you can talk to me. I won't mind you talking to me. But you know, as far as it's gonna go, but I don't mean to be at war with you. All right. So anyway, uh, Lord, I ask that you bless anyone who sees this video, and I ask you to know that I did it. I mean, that I'm doing the best I can to follow what you lead me to do. All right. But I just know that you're going to help us change this world, and so I thank you for that. And I thank you for the other night too, whatever it was last night. I thank you for that, and thank you for hearing me. I pray that in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.